entrance. Wait, what the shit? A secret entrance for real? No, Hammond. All right, maybe there's some clue as to where they took her.
Trying to figure out what the fuck did they want me to do. Ah.
Take the masked boys and meet me at the Kipix. Masked boys? God damn. That's so. This is what crazy looks like.
Goddamn. I'm trying my fucking hardest. Dude, what am I supposed to be looking at here? There you go.
Kylie Hammond, sentenced to death for the crime of high treason. Holy shit. What
There you go.
I've seen these before. This is what those whack job
Farm
looters use
keys.
on skis. I bet these open every door on the compound.
But yeah. It's crazy. Let me get out of here. But yeah, I don't like SNL. I don't like it at all. I really, it's very painful for me to watch. It also doesn't help in the Lily Allen sketch. They ended up trying to do some trans joke about like somebody's pet being like, oh, like she's like whatever, and then he's like, what? I didn't know your pet was like a man. Like I didn't know your pet was a woman. And be like, yeah, but she's very masc, and like it's just like, oh my god, oh my god. Like, this is what we're doing right now. I'm very accepting of, like, trans shit and just, like, I don't care, really. But we're getting to the point where we're trying to project that shit onto... That's the humor we're going to. We're now saying, like, animals' genders are not their gender. We're now projecting onto animals. Be like, it's not enough to just be like, okay, like this person identifies as something else. Okay, that's cool, that's fine. Your cat is probably just your cat. I don't think your cat has any like specific things like you're not. No, I identify as a no. I think your cat. Actually, I don't even think your cat really cares about gender. Your cat's probably just your cat. Your cat's probably just over here just being a cat, and it just is what it is. Same thing for like a dog. Like, it's weird. It's weird. It's like, it's one thing to say that, like, you know, a kid should have the ability to like say or choose whatever they want to be. That's fine. A baby doesn't have choice.
Is that
A
Jordan?
A baby doesn't have a mouth. A baby doesn't have thoughts. So for you to like come out and just like kind of say, oh, well, my baby daughter is a boy because I feel like they should be a boy, so I'm gonna raise my daughter as a boy from infancy. That's kind of weird. And some might say like that's a bit of extreme or whatever, but I feel like it's the same thing because it's like, you're projecting onto somebody who can't speak for themselves, somebody who doesn't have any notion of what's going on. Whether it's an animal, whether it's
I'm headed there now.
whether it's an animal, like or an infant that again doesn't have the brain capacity to figure out what the fuck is going on right now, and also doesn't have like the experience of life. It doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Like, it just was born. It doesn't know it has a penis. Before it could even know it has a penis or a vagina, you're already kind of dictating what it is, and just like it's weird to me. Which is kind of funny because these are the same things that like. It's funny to me because these are the same things that like a trans person like would probably go through and be like, oh, like growing up, I never had the choice of just like this, like or that because people always chose for me, and now I get to choose, and that's cool. But that's you, and that's you talking about yourself like as an adult, like now from like how you've seen things. I don't know. I personally think just that's kind of weird, just projecting that onto animals, projecting that onto babies, or like even when it comes to kids or something like that. Anybody can like do whatever the fuck they want. That's not the problem. The problem I feel like comes in where you'll sooner just say, "Oh yeah," like get like full life-changing, altering shit onto like somebody just because they think for a second that you know maybe just maybe like this might be the case or whatever. I think maybe you should give them the chance to explore. Give them the chance to like kind of learn themselves, kind of learn the environment, just kind of see like, okay, maybe I'm not this, but maybe I'm that. Maybe there's a whole spectrum. Maybe it doesn't have to be I'm this or I'm that. Like I was a boy, but I feel like a girl. I was a girl, but I feel like a boy. Maybe I'm a tomboy. I identify with a lot of male things, but at the same time, I also acknowledge that I'm a woman. Maybe I want the surgery, but I want the surgery to be a woman, but at the same time, I also want to like have all the male things because I'm fine with being a male. I want to like there's a whole spectrum to it, which is the entire thing. Ironically, about like the entire movement is acknowledging of the spectrum. But I feel like by acting on such haste, especially with like younger people, and like not telling them to like kind of experiment or just kind of get a feel for like themselves in the world as a whole, and just kind of acting on just like, okay, you say you're this or you think you're that, all right, just like go all and just accept that. It can be volatile, I feel like, and I feel like it's only because I remember seeing a bunch of interviews with certain people. Like there was a Soft White Underbelly a long time ago. I remember seeing on Soft White Underbelly like a couple interviews with people that like transition, and after transitioning, like down the line, they end up kind of regretting it and they wanted to detransition, and that's like I feel like a thing that nobody sheds light on, because why would you want to shed light on the possible negative effects or like the people that have regret? You only want to shed light on the positives because that is what kind of enforces your agenda, or what it enforces like what you stand for. You don't want to like show any counter things to it too much. But the same thing of like a lot of people that like a lot of people, I want to say, there's always the women that experiment sexually, like in college, or they just have certain things, or maybe they just like how a woman looks, or they just like see themselves in a certain person, that they kind of want that, and they think they're lesbian, and they maybe just kiss a girl or whatever, and they think, oh yeah, like I'm absolutely lesbian, I love kissing her, like this is like great, until they actually have to be in a relationship with another woman. And then they actually kind of realize kind of role plays and certain things like that, and then they don't want to hold as much weight, or they don't want to do as much shit, and they're just like, you want to know what? I'm actually more happy. Like, women are attractive and everything, but in terms of what I want in a relationship, I'd rather just get that from a man. Not to say that a man like gives something that a woman can't, is just, you gotta know, even in lesbian relationships, oftentimes, being in a relationship with a woman, you're not necessarily going to get, they're not going to be as incentivized to just give you whatever you want, as opposed to a man. Because as a woman, naturally, you have so many options. You have the option of so many men. You have the option of all these women. You have the option of straight women that want to experiment and want to be cute. You have the option of gay women that know what they are. You have the option of gay men that want to use a beard or just are experimenting around, some bi men. You have the option of
There's the elevator, but it's stuck.
straight men. And you have the option of trans. You have the option of all these things. And, like, I don't know. Have all those things. So a lot of people just kind of experiment, or they maybe like do one thing, but everything that comes with it, they don't necessarily want what comes with it. Like, one part appeals to them, like one part appeals to them, one part kind of works for them, but the thing as a whole doesn't. And that's, you kind of learn that, and that's all the kind of experience shit from just life. I feel like the more life you spend and the more experience you gain, the more perspective you gain, and the more you kind of like hone who you are and what you kind of want. But to kind of just tell somebody that doesn't have any of that shit and just kind of let them say like, oh yeah, like, you say you're this, so like, yeah, you're obviously that. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna just tell somebody like, oh, I feel like a Martian, so I'm a Martian. No, you're a fucking human being. Like, I get you might feel like you're out of place, but also, if you step outside and you get a feel for like how the world is, I think you might notice that there's a bunch of other people that feel like how you feel. You're not like an actual alien just because you feel like, oh, in school, everybody else maybe looked at you slightly different because you had big tits. Or because you were bigger than all the other, like, kids your age. So they were like, yo, what the fuck is with this dude? Like, why is he so tall? You know what I mean? This is the problem with the stupid kind of shit that you get when there's nothing to really talk about with the game. Like, I don't give a shit about this game. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, which I have a problem with rambling in general, but this doesn't help. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? I'm supposed to be up there, but did I miss the stairs or something? Let me see. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck is the I hate this. I'm just I'm like, what do I do? Over here, right? Oh, yeah, gotta. Alright, so we're just gonna go upstairs. How long have I spent on this video yet? I've been going too long on this video, it feels like. I need to... Something needs to give. What? Something's got to get... What the fuck?! Meanwhile, these little fucking shitheads. Fuck off. I hate this. I hate this so much. Blast from the past, right? Like, that's... And that's also kind of a funny thing that they just kind of did. That dude just jumped off the fucking building. I don't blame him. If I was in this game, I'd want to kill myself too. But... And then I just also kind of... that was stupid. That was very not smart of me. But the idea of just saying to somebody like, of saying the worst thing that somebody could have, or the worst thing that somebody could be is this one thing, and that all people that are of not your taste or whatever are this one thing. Everybody's this one thing. This one thing. This one thing. And you just gotta keep on, and then just like to scale, and then you gotta put everybody to scale that upsets you to this one thing. And then when you keep on putting people to that one thing, now you kind of desensitize that one thing. So now, what the fuck am I doing? I had to go upstairs. So it just kind of, at one point, you just stop caring about the people that are that one thing, and they stop like mattering, or their impact of things just kind of, like when everything and everybody's a Nazi, which I feel like South Park, there was an entire episode of South Park that had that thing, which is like, everybody wants to be called a Nazi, just calling everybody a Nazi for every slight little thing. And when everybody and anything is a fucking Nazi, then nobody actually cares about the actual Nazis. Like, the actual people that are spitting supremacy and actually doing certain shit. Because everybody has been called or, like, put to that. Nobody wants to, like, say, like, a rape, like, I don't know, like, sexual assault is kind of, like, not taken seriously. Because everything has been called sexual assault. Like, hugging somebody, like, that you've talked to a couple times, but you didn't ask them, like, if you could hug them. Now they're saying, like, oh, he just physically assaulted me or he made me uncomfortable or, like, whatever, and it's putting them on the same scale as that thing when it wasn't that serious. Like, being in a relationship with somebody, and if you've been in a relationship with somebody for, like, 2 months, no, maybe not 2 months, like, you've been in a relationship with somebody, like, you said you want to go out, and they said, like, okay, let's try. And then you've been dating for like a week or two, and you decided to kiss on the lips for the first time, right? Like, you never kissed before. Did that person just fucking, like, sexually assault you? Like, just basically just, like, take advantage of you by kissing you without your consent? Or is this person just, like, taking the context that you two are with and just putting natural conclusions together? And really, nobody else is going to, like, know the details of this because you just put that out there that this person just did this shit, and they just kind of go by that. So now, when people find out that all these people that say certain things like this, and then it doesn't always add up because it's all these things that people just jump to the gun for, is just like, it takes the impact of the word. It makes people stop believing the actual cases. People don't actually know what's an actual thing and what's actually is, and then you just stop caring.
Around here somewhere.
You just stop caring, which is fucked up. That's not how it should ever be. But yeah, I don't know. I need to stop playing this game. I need to hurry up and finish with this game. I think this game ends on I think this game has like 6 cases. I looked at the trophies. There's like a trophy for case 5, and then it says finish the game. So I don't think there's that much more. So I don't think there's that much more of this game. But that being said, there's also too much more of this game. There's not that much more of this game, but there's way too much more of this game. So yeah. The game probably isn't even as bad as I'm making it sound. I mean, it is bad, but it's just, I just don't... I thought you were gonna say in my ass. In which my reply would have been, "You're welcome to try, you son of a bitch!" But you know. No. We're not doing that. I got a machete. Got a machete. There it is, gasoline. I probably don't even have to do this, really, because this boss fight is not really much. All that really matters here is health. As long as I have health, I'm probably good. But fuck it. There you go. Thank you. And that's the thing, these boss fights are actually like super bitch made. Because of shit like this. What the fuck? These boss fights aren't really boss fights. Which I'm fine with because I don't want to be playing this. Like, the sooner we can be done with this, the better. Which is gonna be soon, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, Kylie, wait!
I like maybe one more recording session, maybe 1 or 2 more.
You're all my people. You need to by protection.
Let's say recording session, I mean like videos.
Look, a father.
I don't want to fucking play this game right now. I just started this recording session. I might just like, after this case is done, also you got Sparta kicked. After this case is done, just
Seriously, come on. What? Come on, everybody does
call it quits
It's like the end thing.
for tonight. 50 minutes is way too long. I look like a fucking Star Wars character. Please tell me that was a case. Does that count as a...
Now I just have to kill a robot zombie marine, and Willamette will be its old self again.
Wait, what?
So, there's this zombie in an exosuit, and... forget it. I need to blow a hole in the sewers.
Okay. We can help you with that at least. I'll have Jordan.
I don't know the other
Thanks,
thing.
Hammond. You're a real pal.
I don't know. It's also not... YouTube 101. It is not wise to talk about social issues on a fucking YouTube video because it alienates your audience. And also is just not the most entertaining thing to listen to. It might be like mentally stimulating to a certain extent, being able to have like these conversations or hear these certain things that you know you can't talk about in the open. But as a content creator, there's a reason why you can't talk about things out in the open that people aren't comfortable talking about out in the open. Like, unless you like got PewDiePie money or something like that. Unless you're like, yeah, PewDiePie or some shit where you live in Japan or you live in Mexico or you live in something where like you make a bunch of like United States dollars and then you go somewhere where it's cheaper. So like when your views suffer and everything, you don't matter because you're still good. When your money is solid, you don't need to give a fuck. The less you actually need to give a fuck. When your money's solid. When your money's not solid, you need to kind of keep your mouth
Hey,
tucked.
Brad.
Like,
Heading back to the
keep your
sewers.
tongue tucked.
Hammond's people are gonna clear
Keep
the way for me.
your opinions to yourself. Stay very formulaic. Which is hilarious, because that's actually what, Kai Cenat is kind of going through, it seems like. He's kind of talking about, like, kind of his mental shit kind of going on. I saw something about, which, first off, I don't watch Kai Cenat. I don't give a fuck about Kai Cenat at all. But I think it's interesting commentary that, like, as we're starting to get a little bit of the after... It's not interesting commentary because we really should have known better, because this has happened before with, like, PewDiePie and shit, where you kind of see certain commentators, not certain commentators, certain content creators, like PewDiePie and shit. PewDiePie has been on top of the YouTube game for like so long, and then when he had that one incident, everybody tried to tear him down and try to do whatever, and then it caused a bunch of stress. But it also kind of showed him how flimsy it is. As much as he kind of built this foundation of like that he had, there's people just as eager to tear it down like the first instance that they can. And you gotta realize a lot of that shit's not real. Like some of that shit is just internet. It's just people just trying to do some shit and you'll survive it. Certain other people don't survive that shit. But you can survive it. But it's super stressful, and a lot of the stress isn't necessarily coming from you doing the bad thing, but from you just being honest and you giving your opinion, and you just like kind of letting people know how you kind of move with certain things. And you can't do that because other people project themselves into you as a content creator. People see your ideals and think that you align with them or whatever, and you kind of purposefully have to be ambiguous as to appeal to both sides of the fence. Like, you can't say what politics leaning or whatever you are, because then it alienates the people on the other side. You can't say, oh, I don't like this person, because when you say you don't like this person in music or whatever the fuck, now the people that work with that musician and that like that musician aren't gonna fuck with you. Just because the association. So you're gonna have to do this entire game of just saying like, oh, this person's music is good, or this person's music just not for me, or just sometimes even saying things like, oh, this person's music's not for me. People get butthurt over that, and they're like, what the fuck do you mean it's not for you? You have this huge audience, and you say you don't like it. Now these people aren't gonna tune into my shit, so you have to like kind of lie. You have to just kind of hype it up, gas it up, which I feel like Kai Cenat's done a lot with the Drake shit, and he was supposed to have the Drake stream, but then he's just kind of seeing how fickle people are, and just it's cost him the relationship not only with Drake from him just being kind of maybe too honest, but also just with Kendrick. Because Kendrick kind of sees like, oh, this is the type of thing, you're the type of person that's going to just move on like political correctness. And it's just like, ugh. Starting this other video now. But yeah, it's a whole thing. So now we're getting Kai Cenat like talking about like his mental struggle and everything. Which, to be fair, Kai Cenat does sound like a whole fucking retard. The way that he explains like, oh, you know, I'm just so stressed out and I'm just so, because I want to create, because I'm a creative, and it's just like I've got so much in my head around creating that, you know, I want to create so much, and it's just like, you know, it's stressing me out just how much I want to create, and just like, dude. But I don't fault him entirely for that, because he sounds like a whole fucking retard explaining himself. But it kind of like, when you're putting yourself out there in the moment like that, you're not thinking too much about what you're saying. So you're gonna come off like either redundant, or you're gonna end up coming off kind of vague with your answers. It takes a lot of time for you to just kind of sit down and like kind of sit with your thoughts and figure out what you're going to say and what you need to say, and then come up with a cohesive like message that won't be too over. I mean, you see how I'm talking right now. Like, you don't want to come off like how I'm talking right now. And it's just, I'm gonna destroy this shit right here. And it shows human, but also at his level, you have to like actually think about these things. You have to like be like PewDiePie. You actually have to sit down and like think about what you're gonna do, and you have to like come up with a statement. You have to like figure out certain things just so it flows naturally, which is stupid because it kind of actually makes you less human in that way, because you're not speaking authentically. You're not speaking like your actual thoughts and everything. It's all premeditated, which is a part of the actual mental health issue. Because when you're a content creator and everything, you kind of dissociate. You dissociate very, 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 very heavily. Because, again, as stated before, you have to play both sides of the fence so much. You have to not talk about certain things. You have to make sure that you're saying the absolute right thing. You have to make sure that you're aligned the right way, that you appeal to so many people. You have to make sure that you don't fuck up and say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, or you have to, like, do everything that everybody else likes. You have to, like, do all this shit. And it does create genuine trust. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't. This validity to what he's saying is just, he didn't articulate it the best. Which, to me, like, how many? I don't know. To me, I think, and that's the problem still. The problem is, like, I say, like, he should have, like, took more time to properly articulate himself, to, like, figure out how this shit should work, how he should say it.
Bingo.
And not sound so asinine, so it won't be, like, such a big thing on the internet. But it's human. It's him showing his human side. He's not going to be absolutely perfect what he says. He's not going to...
If Calder didn't hear that, then at least I know he's ugly and...
And that's what comes with content creation. With content creation, you're just going to, like, have... You can never appease everybody. You can try, and you're going to fucking die trying. You're going to do your damnedest to try, until you get to a certain point in a certain amount of money where you have to be completely honest, you have to be completely transparent, be like, yo, I don't give a fuck. Like, this entire game of, like, what I can and can't say and all this shit right here, like, this is what comes with that, but I've made enough money and I put myself in such a place where I don't have to care about that anymore, so I'm not going to. Which, I feel like Kai Cenat's in the multi-millions, so he's at a point where he doesn't have to do that, but he wants to do more. If he wants to make more, like he keeps on saying, like, then he has to just keep on playing his role for so long. But
Shut up! Holy ever-loving Christmas.
I don't know. That's also kind of why you do safety nets. You put people into position. Unable to explore. Well, no, that's fine. I'm drawing blanks. That's kind of why you build safety nets for yourself. You put things in a way where if things go bad, if things go left, you'll still be solid. So you invest in like money in stocks. You like start up. I mean, he was putting on streamers. I think he did like try to put on other people, and as long as he gets a cut from those other people passively, then he'll still like be fine. And even if he like decides to take a step back, as long as he's putting money towards them and just helping them like do certain things, then he'll still be good. I don't know if he's necessarily doing that or if he is trying to do that and that's what's causing the stress. But that's why this entire situation where he's talking about in terms of the mental health and like how the online and everything could put a strain on like somebody's mental and everything like that. You gotta work smart. There's a reason why Jay-Z doesn't fucking when Jay-Z was like had all the opportunities with his music, he was very strategic with how he would drop music and like what he would do. Because he wanted to reach super hard with the music in a lot of different avenues so that he could end up taking liquor. He could end up investing into liquor, investing into casinos, investing into art, investing into housing, doing all these other things. And then once these other things got like more money,
I need that hard drive, and then I need to get out of here with my
oh
face
well,
intact.
I'm eating the cookie.
Brad,
Eating a
I've
cookie.
got the hard drive. I'm en route. Need extraction. Brad.
I thought that was a boss fight. You know, can I please? But yeah, once that other shit started happening passively and he starts making his passive incomes like that, he stops making music
Oh, you gotta be
because he
kidding
doesn't
me.
need to. Why the fuck would I make music? Why the fuck would I make music when I have a wife that's doing all this clothing line shit? Why the fuck would I make music when I have this alcohol shit that's going off? Why the fuck would I make music when I have these gummies and this weed shit, when I have all this art, when I have all this housing shit, when I have all these casinos? I'm making a bunch of money. I don't need to be in a fucking studio, like trying to record and trying to appeal to like this person, that person, this person, that person, which that's the thing about streaming. Streaming and music industry actually have that in common, which you have to appeal to a certain audience, and to appeal to that certain audience, you either have to put yourself out there to such a vulnerable extent that like everybody feels like they know you, or you have to hold yourself from the like audience so that they'll want you. And when you like appear, you'll be an anomaly. You can either like kind of live like Bowie, or you could kind of die like Michael Jackson, where everybody, every second of the day is hugging your fucking nuts and just putting cameras on your kids, putting cameras on you, trying to invade your property, trying to do all this shit, and it gets very, very, very invasive. Well, like I said, live like Bowie, where you're completely in isolation the majority of your life. You switch countries, you switch states, you go to whichever area, and you get a house. And when you get in that house, you stay in one room. You stay inside the house the entire time. You don't leave your house. To the point where you're like living in LA. You're British, and you're living in LA during the riots and everything. But you still have your fucking accent untouched, unaltered, because you stay in the house so much. You don't leave. You never left your house, so your accent is untouched. That's insanity. But that's also what a lot of streamers kind of have to deal with. A lot of streamers kind of parallel the exact same way. You either have to be completely off the grid, and just to kind of retain your sanity and be able to have your like life and retain who you are and just like be a human being, and then have that like switch of like turning off your content later, or Pee Wee Herman.
Give it to me.
Or now your act half of your every day.
Come on. I'm not gonna let you sell this to the highest bidder. This time we're gonna do it the right way.
Tyson Out's going through that right now, but
Now!
again, he's going through it right now.
Sorry, Frank.
And we're just now kind of noticing that effect through him, which is stupid. Because he's not the first person. You had the same shit with PewDiePie. PewDiePie's addressed this years ago.
Your tyrant had turned
But
into a psychopath. So we took him down.
now we want
and made
to
sure he wouldn't.
say this is important. Now we want to like say like, oh,
In exchange, Hammond gave me the most important gift of all. Friendship. And more importantly, a big bomb to blast my way into Calder's lair.
yeah, I'm gonna condense this part down with like a little bit of the old video, just to like, so it'll be a cohesive like, I think probably
Calder himself,
1 40-minute video, 1 30-minute video,
whatever he's become,
and then the last video should just be the last boss fight.
And that would have been where I started. Frank West, triumphant hero of Willamette, once again. Vic Jew, thief, hellspawn.
I should probably have things that are safe to. Well, I'm never gonna be big. I'm never. This YouTube channel is always gonna be niche. I only did this so that when I die, if certain people stumble onto my YouTube channel, they'll be able to kind of see a little bit of how I was, or they'll be able to hear my voice, or they'll be able to just kind of. There'll be something left over. When I die, this will remain. That's what I kind of treat this YouTube channel as. So, I'm not focusing on going big. I'm not focusing too much on like what I say or what I don't say. I'm trying not to involve too much of like my personal life in terms of like other people, outside people into my shit, saying names or certain shit like that. But, you know, it's, I don't know. That's the end of this part. We're done with case 5. The next thing is going to be the end of the game. So, yeah, I'm going to cut this right now and just condense the next part down. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. It's kind of nice visually. But yeah, I'm about to go cut this up real quick. So, thank you for watching, and then see you in the final part.